Hey witches, it's Lee and this is Doing Magical Thing, and I want to say a very happy Halloween to everybody, and it's good to be back. So thank you so much for all your lovely comments and all your support. People even donated to the channel while I was off, and that's meant we've got a lovely new light which is much more reliable, energy efficient, and is not kind of buzzing on occasion, which is great because the old one was starting to get a little bit funky. So thank you so much. I really got some beautiful comments that reminded me sort of why I do this, and the main reason is really access, so people can have somewhere that they feel like witchcraft is accessible, that they can do it, not feel discouraged, and I've taken some time out just to sort of just have a bit of a break, really, mental health break, and just really prioritise, and that's led to a few interesting things that some of you will know about, some of you won't. So the big thing that's happened is that I am going to uni. I have started to a foundation year on a history degree, and I love my history and I love specifically occult history, but I wanted to really weave the little thread that I have into the wider sort of tapestry of history itself, and it's been really interesting so far, learning, sort of studying how to study, and deadlines are a thing, so so I'm encountering a few of those, but luckily it's all kind of relaxed sort of stuff. It's Halloween, as you know. I don't know if you can hear the rain outside, so that is beautiful actually. Can you hear that? I hope you can. Let's just enjoy that for a second. So uni. I meant to go when I was younger. First of all, I went straight into a trade and that didn't work out, and then I sort of moved on and I thought, well, I'll go back into it, and then the financial crisis happened and I lost a lot of contacts in the field I was going into, so it just, for various reasons, didn't happen. I didn't know that it was going to be reality, but lovely Mrs. Toad, my lovely wife, she has been so lovely to encourage me. She's an academic herself, she's doing her PhD at the moment, bless her, and she's just, she's definitely been someone who said to me, just do it, you can do it, you're not, stupid, you're not any of those things because you haven't got one, but if you want to do it, you're more than capable. Do you know what I mean? You're more than able to do it. So I'm undertaking it, and it's mad because it's wild because I'm doing uni and work, and unfortunately the half days mean that I can record, which is great. So I've got actually a bit more structure than I had before, which will hopefully help my neurodiversity in terms of fitting stuff in. So uni, big thing. I really just want to keep researching, keep going forward in with my studies in the future. I know I've got to get the degree first, right? But hopefully I'll be able to take or undertake a master's and go on to a doctorate as well, because what I really want to try and do is marry up the sort of past with the present in terms of occult history, and it's kind of going to be a little bit of history / sociology, but I think those fields really do intersect quite well. So we'll see how that goes. But I would like to bring a little bit more critical thinking to the modern occult community, and to experience and exchange ideas and different methods and see where they come from. I think that a lot of focus has been on the kind of traditional past within witchcraft, and I think it's been nice to see what's going on, what's happening now and how things have changed. So we'll see what happens there, basically. So, overarching themes there. Another thing that happened, I changed my last name. In fact, I changed my first name technically because although I go by Lee, it wasn't legally changed, but I have now finally changed it to Lee officially, which is a big, just lovely feeling to not have to have it on, obviously it's taking time to sort of change over things, but it's nice to actually be, Lee rather than my old name, which is just which is a big sort of feeling of just congruency. Do you know what I mean? I think anyone who's experienced a name change or desire to change their name will know that feeling of things being slightly parallel in your life, and when you change your name it suddenly becomes or it feels to me at least, it becomes one path again. So there we go. Yeah, so that's that kind of thing. We changed our last name, so I've now Curtis is my middle name, and Ignire is my last name. Now you might be thinking, what on earth is Ignire? I've never heard that before. Well, it's because it's not technically a surname, or at least not a common one as far as I know. We did look into this, but me and my wife were talking about this for some time, and we wanted something that was us, you know, something that was new, something that was about our chosen family. And I still wanted to honour my ancestors, which is why I kept my surname as my middle name. And with the Ignire side of things, you know, we came about it from a point of view of, you know, what do we want to represent? You know, my lovely sister-in-law, you know, we want to you know, make sure she sort of felt welcomed in our family, as well, and have like this recognisable family unit for just all of us really going forward. And so what was great was, you know, conversation between me and my wife was saying, what do we want to actually sort of really, what we want it to represent, because words, as you know, they're really important, right? And you know, for me, I'm always banging on about etymology and all that kind of thing. So sure enough, my wife said, what about this or that? And I said, well, what about Spark? Sparks would be an interesting name. And we thought, well, no, it's all right, but it's not exactly, it's not clicking in. And I thought, well, and then she said, well, about Ember? And I was like, well, Ember's good, but it feels a bit like the end of something. Embers are sort of dying out. I said, we need something that's more like, invigorating and out there, and kind of at the beginning of something, creation. And so then I thought, well, let's have a look at Spark, and let's have a look at, fire, and where, fire comes from. And I found out that it comes, the origin of like ignite is Ignis. It goes Ignis, Ignire, Ignite. And I didn't want to do Ignis because that's a Suzuki. As much as I like that car, because my dad used to have one of those cars, very reliable. I thought, what, maybe not Ignis. And Ignire means to set a light, it means to set a flame. And so that's what I want to hopefully do with everybody who I encounter, is set a little spark going of enthusiasm, of creativity, of love, of whatever it might be, of comfort, just a little spark, something warm and exciting, getting things going. So I suggested this to the lovely wife, and she said, yeah, that sounds good, So we are basically all changed there. It feels very good. It feels very freeing. It's something that really is, like I say, anyone who's done it will just feel more cognizant or congruent, more congruent, and probably cognizant too, in their life, in their direction of where things are going. It just feels more correct, I suppose, is the way to put it. So Ignire is something that's quite key. I mean, for me, the reason fire, you think, well, why fire? For me, I'm 3 fire signs, right? My top 3 are 3 fire signs in terms of astrology. So that's fun. And so it's definitely something there. And also, I've always been someone who's into, I just am someone who likes to create things, and I've always been someone who people question whether I'm on recreational drugs or not, because I'm generally quite peppy, and so and neurodiversity, I guess. But each to their own, isn't it? So that's my side of things. But with my wife, I wanted to make sure we captured her just spark of sheer intelligence, and just how bright she is, and how much she inspires the world. I always say to her she's going to change the world, and I strongly believe that. She does a lot of activist work, and I'm so proud of her. So big love to you if you watch this one. But basically change of direction, and that has helped in terms of moving things forward, getting on with things. And also because doing the degree, it means that I will publish things, and I want to make sure that I will hopefully publish things in the future, and I want it to be, LC Ignire. I don't want it to be a name that doesn't really apply anymore. Do you know what I mean? So uni, name change. I had some lovely guests over. My witchy friends in the US came over. I was so pleased to see them, and I also saw the fantastic Lozzie Stardust, who you'll know from Brina Garen's podcast Hex Positive, who I finally met up in person. These are people I've known for like half a decade online, and I've done either panels with them at Critical Thinking Witch Collective, or I've been moderators with them in various groups, or just interacted with them in various ways. And so it's been really gorgeous to actually meet up with these people, and we did a fantastic little mooch around Glastonbury, because that was a good sort of point for us all to meet up together, triangulate a little bit. So that was, it was really lovely, and we had a great time wandering about Glastonbury. I'm a regular there because I have family in the area, so it's sort of it was really nice to go back there and just go to my usual haunts. And I did get a little bit of a witchy haul, which I thought I would share with you, because it's Halloween, and we can be cheesy and we can be materialistic at Halloween, I feel, as well as go deeper. I know. Of course I'm doing the ancestor work tonight, but I'm also going to share with you some little bits and bobs. So one of the things that I needed, because this is my little tatty, I guess, witchy book, but it's got and also a bit full, really. So I got a new one of these, but I also, when I went there, they had this lovely velvety kind of pouch, very 90s velvet, but I'm going with it, and so I thought it'd be handy to take around with me in my bag. It means that it gets a little bit more respect, rather than being like shoved about so much. But I feel like things have got to be rough. Witchcraft is filthy, as the book Besson Stang and Sword says. So but it's quite tactile. I love it, and that'd be great because, like I said, running out of room on this one, and I wanted to get things freshened up. So that's that. I also got, look at this funky little thing. So I got a little herb haul from Glastonbury as well. Frustratingly, you can't tend to avoid white sage in witch shops anywhere you go, but my sort of moral standing there is not buying it, and then hopefully the sales will, the small amount that I contribute to the witchy economy in Glastonbury, but hopefully the sales will reflect a changing time of or a changing of awareness. So I'm hoping that less and less we'll see white sage out and about in mainstream witch shops, but or witch shops in general. But sometimes things take time, but at least I can not participate in the purchasing of that. So when I go into herb shops, I'm always buying the more traditional or more local kind of herbs, things that I can't necessarily collect or have access to here, or need an amount that wouldn't be appropriate for me to harvest. There's a few rosemary bushes around here and lavender bushes and things like that, but the amount that I would necessarily use over the season, I don't want to be taking too much, so I just being mindful, and perhaps for the more sort of special spells I'd go out and harvest more fresh stuff. So I got this little chappy to cut my herbs on. I thought it was very cute. I do use my grinder, which my lovely wife got me for Yule a couple of Yules back, I think, but I thought this was so cute, and it's great, and it could be quite a good travel one as well, so always handy. I also treated myself to, these actually got from free, rather. It's kind of Glasto haul / witchy haul in general that happened at the similar time. I got Pestle finally, and the Sisters Grimoire. Oh my goodness, you know how much I love Brie, and also brilliant work they did alongside some fantastic peeps at Critical Thinking Witch Collective. The witch weekend that we held there was just fantastic. I hope some of you, and I know some of you were there, just brilliant, wasn't it? Do check out Critical Thinking Witch Collective or criticalthinkingwitches.com for all information about future events, because some of them are free and some of them you can get scholarships for, and there's lots to go there on there, and things to do in the future that will be coming up, so check it out. But looking forward to getting into these. I've already been reading and highlighting in this, enjoying this very much, and this one's just glorious in terms of the narrative around fairy tales, so beautiful. I'll do a proper run through of these two in a future video. What else have I got here for you? I've been thinking about cleansing more, and the ritual of cleansing itself, but not just because I do my cleansing sigil every day when I'm washing myself in the shower, easy peasy. But I thought before ritual, if I'm having a day where I'm struggling to get this stuff done, I will, at the very least, wash my hands and face. And it's literally like me running a tap and smashing my face and washing my hands, and that will be fine, right? Maybe I'll spit some water, or I'll swill some water and spit it out if I haven't got time to brush my teeth before a ritual, right? But I feel like because I'm speaking words of power, I want them to come from, a kind of clean mouth, because my hands are doing work, I want them to be clean, and my face in general, I don't know, because you're looking out of your face, I guess. But it feels correct to me to do that. But I've been meaning for ages to try and find a sort of bowl, a special bowl to kind of do that with, and I found this in Asda, of all places. It's a supermarket here, but it's big enough to you see my greasy fingerprints all over it. It's big enough to actually, I suppose you could put your face in it if you wanted to, but it's big enough to put your hands in, and sounds nice too. I also bringing it back to Glastonbury, and this is from Creepy Hollow Crafts, which are a little embroidery sort of crafty folk. I got this lovely cloth. I wanted the purple because I thought they did different colours, but I wanted the purple because it's about empowering, and if I'm cleansing, I want to cleanse and I want to power up. So I thought this was a good thing because it's black for the kind of neutrality, for the sort of protectiveness there, for the for the warding kind of aspect of it. So I've got this to go in here, and I also got from Asda too, it was this gorgeous little pot which kind of is, I think it's the same material, so it's probably part of the same range or something. It's meant to be a watering can, right? It kind of works as a watering can. I do use it for my herbs on the windowsill because that's fair enough, but you're not going to get around a garden with this, are you? Nonetheless, very beautiful. I added this cork. It was originally like this, which is kind of a bit Bauhaus, isn't it, if you know the Bauhaus movement. But I put a cork in it because I like corks basically. But what I intend to do is use waters in this that might include things like certain herbs that I would use, cleansing herbs for instance. So that is my plan for this. So I can pour it into here, have my particular cleansing water, use my washcloth to sort of dry my face and hands with, and that's a sort of ritual process. So yeah, I've also moved around, you might be able to see from a distance, moved around the offering stead a bit. I'm going to go through that a bit more, and I'm still going to poodle about with it. Is it ever done? Who knows? But yeah, so this is also needing some work. Another thing I got, this was actually in a charity shop locally. Now some of you know what this is. It is, for those who don't know, it's a fishing float. And the fishing floats are often used as wards. They're known as witch balls and normally hung for protective purposes. I'm going to show you this in more detail in another video. But that's that one there. One thing I must show you before I go is this beautiful bag that my lovely wife made me. It zips up and everything. It's got inside pockets, the whole work. She's been experimenting with sewing with a machine, and she has just done such a marvellous job, and she did this all out of little fat quarters. So yeah, glorious. But yeah, this was purely just a bit of a check-in to say hi, to say massive thank you and big love to everybody who has been supporting me. And I'll be back soon with the video that we all voted for, which was egos and witchcraft. So we'll be exploring that, because I think it's quite a good topic to explore this time of year when people are entering into witchcraft and perhaps exploring it for the first time and need to have a little bit of critical thinking in their life. So yeah, health and wealth to everybody. I'm so looking forward to spending more time with you, and yeah, like I say, just so much appreciation for everybody who's been so supportive while I've been away, and yeah, I'm so excited to get back into the swing of things. So whatever you're doing, happy Halloween or happy Samhain or happy All Hallows Eve. Health and wealth.